Here we are again. I don't know what happened at the end of the last video. I think it was 4.44 minutes in. I can't see that being the limit. Now this thing, it looks like a yellow submarine, although it's white and blue. Is actually has a sort of a skeleton shark or something in it, which you won't be able to see. The South Promenade has had these artworks up for about, well, since it was built, it must be 20 years ago, even more. But I think it's a bit of an acquired taste, isn't it? And it's certainly been affected by the weather. So these are flats there. I remember my dad was a civil servant, and in the 60s there was an annual census, and he unfortunately got these flats as part of his census round. This is for earn a bit more money at night, you see. So all those, not those, from there to there are flats. Well, unfortunately, when he did his census, the majority were empty. So I think he had to go back a couple of times to make sure they were actually empty, but that's just a tidbit from the past. Well, in the 60s, when I was a kid, all this promenade was lower down, and in fact there were sunken gardens here, and very, very nice sunken gardens, and the seaside, further out than this, the main promenade wasn't as wide in those days. There were rocks that, as a kid, you could walk on. It's great fun. Anyway, what happened, I think there was a very, very bad storm, and it was so bad, the waves smashed a lot of the brickwork, which was like rustic brickwork, which was very weathered anyway. It just smashed it to pieces. So I don't know what happened, I can't remember. It may well be that they got rid of them then, or they're certainly gone now anyway. So this promenade, it's been here quite a time. You can see by the rust on the railings that aren't stainless steel, the painted steel, and it's going to be very, very expensive to rectify that, isn't it? And they will have to do it eventually. There's a guy here, two guys cycling on the tram tracks. The trams, of course, aren't running. I think there's a bus number 1 which runs from here, presumably all the way to Fleetwood, like the trams do. These new trams were a godsend to Blackpool. I think they had 16 Flexity trams out there. They're actually a bit like trams in other towns and cities. I'm not sure where they're made, but they're actually in 5 sections of different sizes, and there were 16 of them, and they came on low loaders several years ago. And actually, with the tramway extension to what is now the Wilko, so it was supposed to be being demolished this month. I've no idea what's going to happen with that demolition, whether it'll go ahead or not. Possibly, I don't know. I can't. I just really don't know. I was in the contracting. I say I was an accountant at the local contractors, which at one time was nationwide, and my knowledge is that some building sites are going on, even in the capital of London, but most small jobs have been stopped. Certainly this bathroom, if I was going to have somebody to do this bathroom, which I have tried to do and nobody's interested, my bathroom has a sunken floor, and I think that's frightened them off. But I've tried to get quotes, can't get it, nobody's interested. It was the same with the kitchen, nobody's interested. A guy was going to give us a quote for the kitchen, he went on, he never came back. Well, I'm not going to chase somebody just so I can spend thousands of pounds, but I can spend a couple of thousand in this bathroom, 1,800 quid to do it myself. I've been doing do-it-yourself since I was 14, and I know what I'm doing, and done the risk assessment. I nearly cut my thumb off with a circular cutter in 2014. that was very bad. The only power tools I'll be using are a drill to drill plugs into the wall, to fix battens, to fix plastic panels, not tiles, and the only other thing would be a jigsaw to cut plywood up with. So this is the new tram shed. So it's been there a few years. That holds the new trams, and actually I could go around the other side and show you the rest of it. But we were very lucky to, Blackpool as a town, I say I've lived here all my life, Blackpool was very lucky to get the new trams, and very lucky to have this new tram shed. I don't think we might be getting it at the present time, and they put it that way. So now we're walking past the new tram shed. I don't know, I'm probably not pointing this thing in the right direction when I'm talking to you. This is just a very raw, unedited blog for friends and family. It'll go on YouTube, it'll probably be public. I've got such a tiny channel, probably nobody will ever see it anyway, so I'm not bothered really. You know, so these are the new shelters. They used to be traditional shelters, I think with a sort of a conical brick roof. I think there may be one or two up North Shore, but these are the modern ones. They've been here several years. They do seem to have withstood the weather, but what do you make of them, you know? A bit futuristic. I think there's lights in it. Now whether they work, oh God, look at the state, can you see that state of that? You probably can't see it in the shadow. The light, it's like a fluorescent, and it's absolutely, you can't see it. Like, I don't want to put a light and I might upset the video, but take it from me, I can't see that working. It's absolutely rotted away. Anything, for those who don't live near the sea, anything near the sea, if you've got a house, say up North Shore or Rossall Way, and I mean, cars are a lot better rust proof than they were, but say in the 70s you had a Morris Marine and you parked it out beside your house near the sea, it would virtually been dissolved into rust after 12 months, and that's no exaggeration. It's all this feathered rust. So now we're coming to the end of this, the end of the promenade. There's some cyclists here, a lot of cyclists in fact. You see, you can cycle all the way on the promenade from here all the way to Fleetwood, which is at least 10 miles, if not a bit more. I mean, I used to be a keen cyclist, but I say my wife's disabled, and I've got a dog, a border collie. Here he is, Luke. Are you going to smile for the camera, Jake? Here he is, Jake. He's 9 years old. Say hello, Jake. Hello, beautiful. Yeah. So I did have a couple of bikes. I gave them away. I just had time to do it. You say, like, when you're retired, you'll have time to do this and time to do that. They don't believe them. The thing is, when you're working, the job, you know, I had a high pressure job as a chartered accountant, and it takes all your energy. So when you get home at night, you just have your tea, flop, you know, obviously if you've got a dog you've got to take him out, but apart from that, you just flop in the chair, and by 9 o'clock, 9:30, you're fast asleep. And then in one of my jobs, we started a construction company, we started at 8, so I was sort of getting up at 6:30 every day, so you don't have a lot of time for doing anything else. So I'm glad I'm retired in that respect. So we're now, this is the Blackpool, sorry, the video quality will be terrible on this, I'm sorry. This is a Blackpool Light Craft Club. I can always come and do this video again tomorrow or the day after, hopefully. There's not many little boats there, they'll probably take them all home. This is a Blackpool Light Craft Club. It's got a bar, so no doubt it's probably shut. I think the bar's at the top, if you can see. This is, I'm not taking a dog on here because I don't want to. I've got some cigarettes from my wife coming here, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to flout the regulations too much. So this is Squiersgate Beach. If I'd have parked the car on that bridge up there, I could have walked a mile or two down here and a mile or two back in an hour. But I mean, you can walk on here and be 600 feet from the nearest person, let alone 6 feet. Now this, sorry? Yeah. So this access is open, thank God. But they can't really close this because you'll be able to walk over the sand dunes anyway. But there's I'm not knocking the police, they've got a hell of a job to do. But you've seen the reports in the paper, make up your own mind. And this is a terrible, terrible disease we're faced with. It. For those who don't know, the COVID-19 virus, or the coronavirus, is 3 strands of RNA. That's not DNA, it's RNA. It's reticulated nucleic acid off the top of my head, I'm probably wrong. Wrapped up in a spherical ball of protein with prongs attached to it, so it looks like a limpet mine. So the pictures on TV are what it says it is. It's not a celled being. It's just 3 strands of RNA that wants to wipe us off the planet. Come on Jake, good boy. As I say, this is very, very raw. It's putting my feelings down. I've been up and down, etc, etc. And it helps. I want to keep this on record how I feel at this moment. So this video is more for me than anybody else. So now, this is the tram tracks that are used. And the dog's trying to get away. That's Squiersgate Bridge. You might want to do something. I might have to. Oh yeah, so I'm going to stop this video now because he's having a poo.